bowl of water as opposed to my usual coffee. Okay, today we're going to be talking, or I'll be talking about the Premier League and the transfers that happened throughout the season. So, I was having a little look at the Premier League stats for the season, and it came to my attention how well some new transfers have been doing and how bad some others have been doing. I thought we'd just have a little look, like club by club, not in too much detail, just not going to look at stats today on numbers. I'll just talk about my opinion on each club's signings. Either I'll pick one good signing for the club and maybe one bad signing throughout the season. I'm going to go down in table order. So, first to 20th. So of course we start with Man City because they are top of the table. Now off the top of my head, I'm sure they only made one signing, didn't they? That being Jack Grealish. So that's all we can talk about is Jack Grealish off the top of my head. Has he been a success? Has he proved to be worth the 100 million that they paid for him? I'm not 100% certain that he has been. I mean, when you're spending 100 million quid, you are spending that in the hope that the lad comes in and brings something different. I'm not saying he has to be the one who wins the title for them on his own or anything like that, but he has to bring something different that they don't already have there. And has he? In my opinion, he hasn't. I mean, they already had Mahrez, they already had Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Foden, at least 4 players who do the exact same thing that Jack Grealish does, but probably they do it better. What they needed was a striker, and what they got was another wide player. I don't think he's worth 100 million. Honestly, I don't think he's in. This is the first time Man City, the richest club in England, well, maybe Newcastle, I know, they could sign anyone if they really wanted to. And this is the first time they'd ever gone to 100 million quid. It's their record signing. And he's not fit to lace the boots on this season's form of a De Bruyne, probably Mahrez. Sterling's even coming into a bit of form lately. Grealish will look great for Villa because, let's be honest, at least last season, Villa were still a team hoping to finish like mid-table at best. So he's going to look good in that team. And you stick him in a team that's going to win the league, and he's going to be around quite well better players, and he's going to have moments where he looks great. But has he been a success? Let's rank him. Okay, so we'll do A to E. I'm going to give Jack Grealish a D. He's not been a flop, but by the standards Man City would have hoped for, I'd say he's not been a success so far. So I'm going to give him a D. Liverpool. Now Liverpool made a couple of signings. I'm doing all this off the top of my head. They brought in Ibrahim Konate, the centre back from Leipzig, and they brought in, who else did they bring in? They brought in Luis Diaz in this window, but like maybe twice, so can't comment on Luis Diaz. I think they say Luis Diaz. But like I said, we have Konate to talk about, and I should really bring up the transfers and make it easier. Okay, I've finally found the website I was looking for. It's talking about 10 minutes. So we'll go on to Liverpool shortly. We're going to go through now in alphabetical order. We've already done Man City, so we'll skip about. Right, straight into Arsenal. And I have to Tomiyasu, Lokonga, Tavares. I'd say Ramsdale's been the biggest surprise. I was somebody who knocked the transfer of Aaron Ramsdale when it happened due to past performances and record with previous clubs. Didn't expect much of him, and I've been surprised. He's done really well for Arsenal, and probably one of the reasons why they're in such a good position this season is because of Ramsdale. I'm not sure anyone has really done bad. I think the only one you'd say that in terms of transfer value and what we've seen, I guess the biggest disappointment would be Ben White, because when you're spending 50 plus million on a centre back, you maybe expect a bit more, but he's young. There's plenty of time for him to prove his worth to Arsenal. But Ramsdale, their best signing. Aston Villa, they got Leon Bailey, Buendia, Coutinho in this window, just gone. Danny Ings, Ashley Young, Callum Chambers, Robin Olsen, Philippe Coutinho, Axel Tuanzebe, who's then left. He's gone to Italy, I believe. I forget where he's gone to now. Okay, so there's a couple of flops for me anyway. Maybe 3 of them are quite expensive, to be fair. Come in at like 50, 70, nearly 90 million quid. I don't think any of these 3 have been a big success since coming in. And they are Buendia. When you're spending 35 million on a player, you want more than what you're getting. So Buendia for me, not been a success so far. Leon Bailey, nope. 28 million quid, just short of 29 million. Has he proved to be worth that? Don't think so. And the biggest surprise for me is Danny Ings. When I was in Villa, had got Danny Ings for 26 million. I thought teams like Man United, Tottenham, one or two others had really missed a trick here. Christ, I need an haircut. Just because of how good Danny Ings has the potential in the right team and the right setup to be, and we have not seen it at all from Ings this season. I don't know how many goals he's got. He's not been that many, has he? I've been really, really shocked by that. On the brighter side, Philippe Coutinho, in 1 or 2 games he's all great. I've not seen every performance. He scored and assisted against my team, Man United. But from what I've seen of their signings, I'd say the biggest flop is Danny Ings. And probably Coutinho will prove to be their best signing. Let's just give them a ranking at A to E for all of their transfers, like as a combined total. I've got to say about a D. No, I'd say a C, because of Coutinho and Coutinho. But the Buendia, Leon Bailey, and Danny Ings, big minuses for me. But I'll give him a C for the Coutinho and Coutinho deals, which I think are great business. Brentford, so they brought in a share, I don't know how you say it, from Celtic, 14 million, so pretty good. Onyeka from Midtjylland, not seen a love of this lad. Wissa from Lorient. Okay. Christopher Share, I think it's done alright from what little bits I've seen. Brentford started the season great. He's died off quite quickly, in all fairness, their form. The sign of Christian Eriksen, that really gives them a chance in my rankings. But to be fair, it's really been the players who came up with them that have got them to where they are right now. Really impressed with the lad up front, not Ivan Toney, the other lad. And Buemo, he looks really good. Earlier on in the season anyway. I think then Buemo, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. be saying, have any of these lads really made the difference in them staying up or not? Maybe not. So I'd say an E, but with Ericsson, if he ends up signing permanently, then go to a D. Next we have, bear with me, so Brentford. Next we roll on to Brighton. They brought in Mwepo for 20 million, Cucurella 16 million, Kozalski, Polish lad, Undav, don't think I've seen anything of him, Seema, Sherpen, Mitoma, lots of players I've never even heard of in the Premier League. In terms of the ones I've heard of, I know Cucurella's done quite well and been linked with a move to Chelsea, I believe, recently. I don't see it happening necessarily, but he has been linked. I don't know. Brighton are doing pretty well this season. Again, I don't know if it's because of these sides, but Cucurella's improved them a little bit. I'd say let's give them a D, because if the season is pretty good so far, and they got in a lot of money for Ben White, which is a great deal. So, and Dan Burn went, which I think that's a big loss actually. So fantastic for Newcastle. Next we go on to Burnley, and this lad, probably one of my signings of the season, Maxwell Cornet for 13.5 million. Actually, I think Burnley might have a shout for two of the best signings of the season, and one of them's only been there a few weeks. But Veghorst for 12.5 million quid, and Maxwell Cornet 13.5 million. Listen to this: you sell Chris Wood for 25 million, you bring in Cornet and Veghorst for 25 million. I don't think you can get a better bit of business in the Premier League right now, like for like, in terms of what came in money wise and what went out money wise. That is going some of the best business in the Premier League. Other than that, they got Collins in from Stoke. I think he's become a regular there at the back. Roberts from Swansea. Aaron Lennon came back. I'm going to give Burnley a B, just because of that. Wood out and Cornet and Veghorst in. I know it wasn't at the same time, but in the same season, I'm giving them a B for that bit of business. I mean, they got 27 million quid for Chris Wood. Chelsea, okay, there we have Sol Nigler. I can't say his name. Sol Nigler. Actually, I can't say it. Sol Niguez. Saul, I think that's how you say it. Niguez. And Bettinelli from Fulham on a free, and Lukaku. And it was the Lukaku deal, that 7 touches the other day, that got me thinking about this video. I'm going to give them a -E, because how many decent strikers can Chelsea ruin in 2 years? Timo Werner, 50 odd million, flop. Lukaku, 90 million, is it? Flop. I mean, it's so funny to watch. The fact that Chelsea, if you told me 3 years ago they'd have Werner and Lukaku, like if I knew what Lukaku's form would be like 3 years ago for Inter, I said, Premier League's done, no one has a chance. They just ruin strikers. They always have done. Look at Shevchenko, look at Crespo to an extent, Kesman, Mutu ended up going to prison, doing drugs and whatnot. They just have a bad history with a lot of strikers. Torres, yeah, he won a couple of important games, but he also was a huge flop. What's it all about? Right, now we move on to, and then when you see that they let Tammy Abraham go, strange. Crystal Palace, Mark Guehi, the former Chelsea lad. We have Joachim Andersen from Lyon, Odsonne Edouard from Celtic, Mateta has joined on for a permanent deal from Mainz, Michael Elise, Will Hughes from Watford. Okay, let's get into this. seen a lot of him. I know he's had a long injury at Palace this season, but Elise looks fantastic. I really like what he's brought. Edouard came on, scored a couple against Tottenham on his debut, or one was it? Thinking, oh here we go, they got themselves a bargain here. It's not really kicked on for Edouard too much. But that the Anderson deal, Mark Guay and Elise, them three coming in for a combined total of 40 million quid. It's brilliant business. Especially look at how old their team was last season. Did I give Chelsea a ranking? I didn't I? Think it was a -E. Palace, I'm going to give them a C. I like what Vieira's doing there. I like how they've brought down the age of their squad by a lot. Next we have Everton. Mikalenko, not seen anything of him. Nathan Patterson, not seen anything of him. I don't think he's been given his debut yet. Damari Gray, brilliant bit of business for 1.8 million. Begovic, Rondon, Townsend, free transfer. Can't go wrong when it's a free deal. Andy Lonergan from West Brom on a free. Dele Alli on a free, but actually going to cost him about 40 million quid. El Ghazi on loan, Van der Beek on loan. Everton's a mixed bag because I think Van der Beek on a loan would be great for them. I think Damari Gray and Townsend are fantastic deals. But letting Coutinho go, bringing in a lad from Ukraine who might not be able to handle it in the Premier League, bringing in Nathan Patterson, not giving him his debut yet, bringing in Rondon, Dele Alli up to 40 million quid. Oh, I'm going to give Everton a D-. I like the Van der Beek deal for them. I like the Gray and Townsend deals, but it's just too much not good in there. So -D or D-. Leeds United, Dan James scored a couple. Was he get a hat-trick? Can't remember now. Recently, sort of alright at times. Juno Firpo, yeah, seen him the other day against Sheffield. He was pretty average. Jack Harrison has got a few goals this season. He got a hat-trick in here a while back. They don't do a lot of business, Leeds down, and they could probably do with supporting Bielsa a little bit more. Maybe like a really good striker. I'm not saying 50-60 million, but just maybe they could have been in for Danny Ings. You never know. But Leeds, I'm gonna give them a. It's not terrible, it's just not great. And what is good, they didn't lose any of their better players in the summer. But I'll give them a D-. Not give them a D. Leicester, Patson, Dakar, Zomer, Vestergaard has looked horrible. When they got him, I was like, whoa, what a deal, 15 million quid. No, not at all. Bertrand hasn't really added to their team. Dewsbury Hall has come up from the under-23s, he's all pretty good, but he's not a signing, is he? Yeah, when you consider they spent 60 million quid, well, I don't know if they've really strengthened their team or not, to be fair. Dakar's look good at times. So, I have not seen enough of, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to give them a D-. I don't think they improved their team anywhere near enough. At the same time, they didn't weaken it either. They let Fuchs go, they let Matty James go. Dennis Pratt went out on loan to Torino. Liverpool, Luis Diaz, Canate, Harvey Elliott from the under-23s was brought up on a senior deal or something or other. So I can't really talk about Canate because Diaz has only been there for a couple of weeks or so. Canate, I thought he'd just slot straight in. Honestly, I thought he'd go straight to that team, be a first choice right alongside Van Dijk for the season. But to be fair to Matip, he's found his form again this season since being back fit. So full credit goes to Joel Matip. The Diaz deal brings their ranking, because I know he's going to be a fantastic player. I mean, flipping heck. To get him for 40 million quid. For me, that brings their ranking right back up, because without it, I'd give them a D minus. With the Diaz deal, that puts them on a C plus for me. To get a replacement possibly for Mane for like 40 million quid is just mind-boggling. Man City we've already done. 105 million for Jack Grealish. Really. Man United, Sancho, Varane, Ronaldo, Tom Heaton, Anthony Alanga from the under-23s. Okay, Sancho starting to show his form. I'm not saying he's shown it that he's worth 76 million. No, he's not worth that on the current form. But he's starting to show that there is something there that he's getting used to the Premier League. He's shown he needs to do it like week in, week out, and he knows it needs to be done week in, week out. Varane, mixed bag, injuries, setbacks, good performances, bad defensive partner in Harry Maguire. Ronaldo, when you hit 30.5 million, you think, whoa, banging deal. Perhaps we've got like the highest goal scorer in the world ever, and after he gets another couple of goals. Well, he has stifled us a lot. But then again, I think with the trouble we've had at the club, yeah, we all know what trouble we're on about. I think he's probably a bit of a calming influence, possibly. He's a good leader to have about. I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to give us only because Sancho's not really lived up to it yet, properly. And Ronaldo's form did drop off quite a bit. I'm going to give us a D+. See, I'm not being biased at all. Well, not a D+, just a D. Newcastle, Guimaraes, not seen hardly anything of this, I just one or two snippets. Chris Wood, Joe Willock. That was a bad signing really if you think about his form last season. Brilliant. They signed him on a permanent, I don't think he scored for them since him signing. Dan Burn, brilliant. Trippier, great. Matt Target on loan, yeah, okay. Right, okay, so I'm looking at the Guimaraes deal. I don't know if he's going to be a success or not, so we'll forget him. Chris Wood, flop. Joe Willock, flop. So far, anyway. I really don't think Chris Wood will get the goals to give the other players will. He won't. So that's 50 odd million quid on shite. But then you'll get Dan Burn and Trippier at 26 million combined. I just think that is some great business. Some of the best business this season. So I'm in a bit of a predicament. What do I give them ranking wise? Because I think Burn will add to them staying up, and Trippier is a huge loss, but his form before he got injured was fantastic. And Guimaraes, I guess, will probably prove to be a great player. B- because I think the Willock and Wood signings are daft. So B- for Newcastle. Norwich. I'd have to get a bloody encyclopedia. I just found out who half these players are. Obviously I know Ben Gibson, Josh Sargent with the ginger hair and how they Rashika got the deflected goal against Liverpool the other day. Yeah, if they stay up, I mean they got Kabak, the lad who was on loan at Liverpool last season, Angus Gunn from Southampton. If they can stay up, then fair play. Their transfers then go up in my opinion, but often, you know, from bits I've seen in Norwich and stuff, I'd say a D-. Better than what they've done in the past though, to be fair. Next we have Southampton, Adam Armstrong, Perraud, I'm not sure, Lianco, Livramento, Via Walcott and Brozier, and Caballero on a free. Right, okay, so Adam Armstrong hit the ground running. First game, so he got a couple of goals, not heard or seen much of him since. Perraud, I don't watch a lot of Southampton, so he is brilliant at web. I've heard he's done some good games. Lianco, never even heard of him. Livramento, early on, I've seen a couple of games of him in, he was bloody brilliant. And, I mean, it cost him 5.3 million from Chelsea's under 23s. And Brozier on a loan has been fantastic. Walcott, yeah. But the Brozier and the Livramento deals, the fact that they sold Danny Ings and yet they're still up there. Yeah, they're having a really good season, Southampton, on paper anyway. They're on a relegation fight, which we normally expect them to be. I'm going to give them a B-. I really do think the deal for Livramento and Brozier really have helped them out this season. Tottenham, Emerson Royal, Brian Hill or Gill, Bentancur, Pape Sarr, Kulusevski, Romero, Galini. Right, Galini, first choice at Atalanta. Nowhere near the Tottenham starting lineup. Really weird. Emerson Royal, signed by Barca from Betis, didn't get to play for Barca, signed for Tottenham before he could play for Barca. He's looked alright. No worse than our former right back, Serge Aurier. But a slight improvement. Brian Hill, I mean, what a weird deal. 22 million from Sevilla, and within 6 months he's gone out on loan. He's not even with Tottenham anymore, or currently. Pape Sarr, signed for next season, I believe, from Metz. Romero, I think, has been really good. At times, when he's been fit, he's been really, really good. Kulusevski scored and set up a goal against Man City. That's good enough for me. And Bentancur has looked really good as well in a couple of games he's played. The Uruguay midfielder, so I'm going to give Tottenham a B. The Hill and Royal side is not so good. Galini, don't see the point. But then we got Bentancur, Kulusevski and Romero. Gets a B for me. Watford, we have Lauza, Samir, Agoy, Kiembe, I don't know half of these players, Kamara. All I need to see is 3.6 million for Dennis. And I'm on board. I mean, they brought in bloody Sissoko from Tottenham, for Christ's sake. But when you see that Dennis deal at £3.5 million, and the fact that he's like third top scorer in the Premier League within this season, that's good enough for me. And I'm going to give Watford a C for that one deal. Lots of crap there, but then you get Dennis for £3.5 million. West Ham, the cat kicker. Kurt Zouma, Vlasic, Alex Kral, Greg Dawson, Ariola. Okay, Greg Dawson on a permanent great deal for £2 million, but apart from that, absolute shite. I'm sorry. David Moyes and the West Ham fans deserved way better than what they got in the summer. And the fact that they're the team that signed Kurt Zouma, anyway, and do what you went to do, give them an E-. Don't really care. Wolverhampton Wanderers, I knew he signed on a permanent. Jose Sarr, £7.2 million. Trincao on loan, been a bit hit and miss. And the lad from, where's he hiding at? Bear with me. Huang from Leipzig. Leipzig, who's signed on a permanent, it says loan here, but at the end of the season it's going to become a permanent deal. He's really good earlier on in the season. But yeah, the Jose Sarr deal is one for me for Wolves. Fantastic. Top 3 keepers in the Premier League this season, and easily steps in to replace Rui Patricio. So I'm going to give Wolves a C for the Sarr deal alone. Brilliant keeper, what a find.